You know, when they see these videos online where it's like it's on like Facebook or whatever, and it's someone doing a good deed and they go and they're like, oh, they're helping an old man or whatever it might be, but it's been filmed. This is what I'm doing. The book I bought you, I want everyone to know that I bought Leon a book. It's my favourite book ever. Not a business book. It is a business book, actually. It's an everything book. Do you know what I love about this book? It was written 2,000 years ago, and it was written as it's The Art of War, Sun Tzu. It's a book about war, but it's a metaphor. Everything's a metaphor for everything. Here's something I'm putting to you, okay, from a sales perspective.
Okay.
Have you ever read it?
Have I read it?
Yeah.
So I've got it. I think I've got a really old tatty copy of it.
You've got it.
Well, everyone knows that buying self-help books, reading self-help books, and doing anything with the stuff you learned in the self-help book, they're three very different fucking hobbies.
Let me put this to you. And I'm just gonna tell you, and you tell me what you think first. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever arrives second to the field has to hasten and will arrive exhausted.
I was waiting for you to tie in the. Do you know when people give it?
I'm just going to. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, is it the whole thing you've just talked about, or that? Because you just said before, what about them people who give a tramp a sausage roll and video it for social media, and then you?
Oh no, that's me giving you the book.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted people to know that I've given you the book.
Oh, so you?
Because that's the only reason I've done it. Yeah.
Okay, so for likes and
subscribes and
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Give me the phrase again.
Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever arrives second to the field has to hasten and will arrive exhausted.
Okay.
Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, it sounds like what we talked about maybe off camera before, which was the previous preparation. So you said you'd done a bit of preparation for some stuff today and it was going a lot better. Mm-hmm. And then here we are when you haven't.
But why is that arriving first? No, it doesn't. I don't agree.
All right.
It's not arriving
Why
first.
Are you asking me what I think and then telling me what I should think?
Because it's funny. Go on. What else?
What else do I think about it? Yeah, I think I'm the second guy.
Yeah, in every situation.
I'm usually late. I usually have too much on and I'm late and I show up.
Okay, let me ask you one probing question.
Okay.
Do you think there's any wisdom within here that can be applied to this sales environment?
I think there's any wisdom. Yeah, look, 100%. So I think one of the very first podcasts that Chris and I ever did for the Sales Dojo.
Shout out Chris. Great guy.
He is a lovely fella. Thanks. It was about that preparation for a meeting. Like the amount of times that you spend days, months, weeks, years trying to get a meeting with someone, and then you rock up a couple of minutes late and you're not ready and you're not prepared for it and you've not done that previous preparation for the opportunity. So definitely can feel that with regards to the sales process and making sure you've got that preparation.
I've always felt that when whatever, it's something approximating a sales environment, or I don't know. I remember like early when I started the business, and you'd be meeting new clients that you're trying to, and the difference of being there at the restaurant and you sat down and you're prepared and your bag's down and you've had a second to stop sweating, getting off the tube, and you're just more poised and you start on the right note versus coming in late and you're flustered. Hastening and arriving exhausted, my performance would be very different. And I would. This is my question to you. I would say that's good advice for a salesperson. Get there early, settle yourself down, find it. It's the same thing as when you see in boxing after every round, the guy or girl who's when the 10-second warning is whatever it's called, 10-second things come on that the round starting in 10 seconds, the ones that get up with a few seconds to go rather than they get off at the stall at the last second, you're flustered and you're arriving exhausted. I would say that's the same for, in your world, a salesperson. Get there early, prepare yourself, poise yourself. Good advice?
Yeah, like I said, 100% good advice.
Okay.
Genuinely, pretty much the first one that we ever did was talking about that. And I joke because as a typical salesperson or seller, I remember an opportunity where I think it took me 3 years to get a meeting with him. and I was a smoker at the time, and I had a cigarette in the car beforehand, and then I realised it was 2 minutes past 11, and it was 11 o'clock that the meeting was, and I went in. I never got the business.
Yeah, that's because
I
arrived
late
second
and
hastened, and you arrived exhausted
and sweaty and horrible.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. This one's not necessarily sales related, but it's one I like. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will suffer a defeat. If you know neither, you will succumb in every battle. Good.
It's heavy, that, isn't it?
It's 2,000 years ago, and he's talking about war, and it's all of it. The whole book, it's like a metaphor. I can never get my head around. There's something that just makes me. There's like, I know it's not even that old of a book relatively. It's an old book, but it's not that old of a book relatively speaking. But I can't even articulate this. It makes me feel something that this was written 2,000 years ago, and the wisdom in it that applies to so many. It makes me feel something. I don't know what.
It makes me feel pretty fucking stupid, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
because that is pretty profound, and there's 3 or 4 layers to that, and I can't even get my head around the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
Read that one again, though.
All right, it's good. Let's
try and work it out.
Hang on. Right. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Pause. If you know the enemy, know yourself, you need not fear the result of 1,000 battles. Okay, so previous preparation prevents piss poor performance.
We can talk about sales. You know yourself, you know what you know, you've got the skills, you've got the competency, and you know your enemy, you know your opposition, your counterpart. Prospect. You know them, you know what's going to happen. Need not fear it.
I think so.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's see how much of Sun Tzu's Art of War we can force into a sales metaphor. That's a good game. New podcast. That's it. This is called New Podcast. This is the second part. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will suffer a defeat.
Extrapolating that means, because you will, and it's really interesting, because if you don't do research, you don't understand the prospect, you'll get some because you were quite bold and you're quite boisterous and you sound like you know what you're talking about, but you will miss lots of opportunities, 100%.
Do you think this is good? This is good, isn't it?
Very good.
It is good. I'm really enjoying this now.
The new podcast, in inverted commas, sponsored by Jerry Pepsi Max.
And Sun Tzu.
And Sun Tzu has got a long...
if you know neither, you will succumb in every battle.
Yeah.
This is solid.
It is.
This is good.
We should start up a new business.
Let's not put this out. We need to think about this somehow. Okay, let me... well, while you say stuff about that while I look for another one.
Or maybe I could just get a random one and we could see how it works. Here we go.
I don't know if it's that.
If in training, soldiers' commands are habitually enforced, the army will be well disciplined. If not, its discipline will be bad. Feel terrible reading that.
That's good. Say it again, please.
If in training, soldiers' commands are habitually enforced, the army will be well disciplined. If not, its discipline will be bad. So if I try and take that into a sales thing, which is the theme of this new podcast that we put together, that makes me think about the sales process, and when you're doing sales, what a horrible turn of phrase that is, but when you're selling, if you're not disciplined in doing the same stuff with every one of your prospects, with every opportunity you've got, then you're never going to be able to scale that. Like, it's just luck then. If you don't send the same form of emails, if you don't follow the same process, you'll get some customers, you'll get some sales, you'll get some over the line, but you'll never be able to replicate it.
Force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots.
I can't do anything other than euphemisms with that one, I'm not going to lie.
You can, because I can think of stuff you've said that applies to. Force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots.
Yeah, okay, I can. So, taking my mind out of gutter and back onto being a serious business person, that is all about asking the right questions and delving deeper, and getting really good with asking questions, like not the surface level shit. And then, oh, he said something about my product, so I can jump on this and try and sell him my product. It's about trying to find that like deep pain, that deep inbred challenge that they've got. And it's like the same stuff when we're talking about like selling to a big business and not thinking about the problems that the prospect has. This will be like, does this product solve a problem for the business? Does my dialer make their business work better? Yeah, it does. But if I just go with that and run with that, then I'm not going to get anywhere. If I go, well, what does this mean to you as the person who's in charge of that? Well, it means I don't have this problem. Yeah, and what are you looking for? Well, am I looking for the opportunity? The CTO is going soon and I might get his job. Well, if we can make this work for you, if we can get this over the line and make it work for you, that might help you. Yeah, that'd be really good. And then they'll go and fight your battle in the boardroom.
So if you try and, to use the war analogy, you just try and plainly attack. So that's your sales pitch, and you don't know what you'd use the word pain points are. It's luck, isn't it? You're just windmilling.
Yeah.
Versus you get them to reveal themselves. Yeah.
And that's their vulnerability. That's the cost of inaction. That's the return on investment that is important for them.
Another one.
Do another one.
This might be a tough one because I don't know yet, but I'm going to say it's a lovely quote. Let your plans be dark and as impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt.
Let your plans be dark and as impenetrable as night, and when you move, let your
fall like a thunderbolt.
Say it again.
It's good. I think people are going to enjoy this. Let your plans be dark and as impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt.
No, I'm stuck on that one.
I'm stuck on that one. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Read this book. Okay, we're going to do a little series. We're going to do a little Art of War series and talk about sales.
The Art of Sales War.
Yep. That's what we're going to do. This is that you're watching the first one. You're watching it be born. We're going to do a little series on the Art of War. Deal?
Good stuff. Deal.
All right.
Let's do it.
See you next time.